Ngoketunjia County draft was all shades of success. In the president's speech, Dr. Samuel Ikomisaka emphasized that the fight is a humanitarian one that everyone is making for the liberation of Amazonia. He mentioned all of the massacres that has happened recently and encouraged all to be steadfast.
Fellow Ambazonians, thank you all for honoring our invitation to this annual humanitarian endeavor today. We are here to help our families who are the victims of a senseless genocidal war to have the minimum they need to stay alive, themselves and their communities. Anybody who was deceived that La République du Cameroon genocidal regime is regaining control of our territory, or that some kind of normalcy, as they call it, is returning, was in a shock a week ago when 15 civilians were massacred within a span of a couple of days in Bamenda, 5 in Abango quarters, and 10 in Nacho Junction. That is not how a return to normalcy looks like. Such acts of desperation are reminiscent of the Ngabu massacre of 2020, the Mother Teresa massacre, the Mautu massacre, the Pinyin massacre, the Big Babanki massacre, the Kona massacre, etc., where the cowardly La République du Cameroon thuggish genocidal regime has wasted many of our loved ones with gross impunity.
The president also mentioned that the interim government has the knowledge and is aware that some Ambazonians and civilians are used as spy, informants, facilitators, and informants to Paul Biya. Well, the president says he rejects the trajectory. Hear it for yourself.
At no point in time have our valiant Ambazonian restoration forces turned their weapons to target foreign civilian nationals residing in or visiting our country. We are not unawares of the fact that some Ambazonians and non-Ambazonian civilians are used as informants, facilitators, or infiltrators by the occupation forces of Paul Biya, thus putting this vulnerable population in harm's way. Our valiant ARFs have stood the test of time with a commanding presence, especially here in Ngoketunjia. But out of frustration, the République du Cameroon criminals in uniform have doubled down on their strategy of attrition, this time with a focus on innocent foreign nationals. We vehemently condemn this very dangerous trajectory chosen by the special Bulubeti militia that wants to turn some French Cameroon ethnicities in our country against Amazonia. We saw this first with the attacks on the Bororos in Dogaman, and now it is on the Bamili case. Earlier today, July 22, 2023, we learned that at the Quartier Ewondo in Yaoundé, a family of 10 southern Cameroonians, Ambazonians, were slaughtered in cold blood by so-called unknown gunmen. And I submit to you that this is the handiwork of the same Bulubeti militia on a mission to plunge Cameroon into a civil war. We condemn this evil with all our might, and let us be vigilant, Ambazonians, and know that wherever we find ourselves, it is our God-given right to defend ourselves with every iota of our energy.
Well, President Sako urged Ambazonians that wherever they find themselves, he said they should defend themselves. He explained that it is God-given right to defend yourself from every form of pain. A minute of silence was observed for all the fallen heroes of Ngoketunjia massacred by La République du Cameroon soldiers.
The interim government press release published a couple of days ago by the Secretary of State for Communication and IT is clear on our position concerning these recent back-to-back massacres committed by La République du Cameroon genocidal hoodlums in our territory. They will pay for this genocide on our people, sooner or later. Let us observe a moment of silence in honor of one of our pioneers, generals of the ARF Ngoketunjia Shaumao, who fell this year not by the hands of our enemies or enemy, but by the chilly hands of criminals within our struggle. Let's include all our fallen heroes and heroines, as well as the thousands of our compatriots who have been massacred by Bia's genocidal squads in Ngoketunjia County and the rest of Ambazonia. We still have the recent Bamenda 15 fresh in our memories, massacred by the same French Cameroon genocidaires. A moment of silence, please.
President Sako said the success of Ngoketunjia is hinged on the success and leadership on the ground. Even when some brave fighters derailed, he specifically thanked the Amazonian Restoration Forces of Ngoketunjia, especially for protecting the people. He agrees that the bravery of Ngoketunjia will be written on gold.
We salute our relentless warriors for their bravery and steadfastness in defending their turfs and resisting the enemy who wants to annihilate our people and enslave us in perpetuity. The success of Ngoketunjia is because of the consistency and resilience of its leadership on the ground, despite efforts by the enemy and some Amazonian dissidents to divide and rule. We have all witnessed the exemplary defense structure in this county, even when some brave fighters were manipulated and derailed by the enemy to create a counter force against the ARFs. Somehow, Ngoketunjia still found a way to maintain her place and focus as a backbone of the people's self-defense architecture. My valiant Ambazonia Restoration Forces of Ngoketunjia, thank you. Your selfless attachment to duty has negated the void that could have been left by some of your forces who were manipulated to leave your ranks. FM Sargon and all the other generals, commanders, and forces protecting our people in Ngoketunjia, we salute you all. Ambazonia is closer to Buea now than 6 years ago because of your tenacity in battle. Citizens of La Republique have learned to pronounce the beautiful name of your great county, Ngoketunjia, because of its significance as the place of death for their ill-trained and misguided genocidal talks. And when the history of this war will be written by unbiased historians of this liberation war, the bravery of our ARFs in Ngoketunjia will occupy a major part. Your military ingenuity in continuously refining your guerrilla war tactics, your contributions have even helped the ARFs fine-tune our national strategic security plan.
Well, in summary, the president proudly said that Amazonians will not be enslaved by their equals, La Republique de Cameroon. He says the interim government will not leave any stone unturned. His energetic words went on to say that drafters are the fuel that keeps the engine room moving. He advised that this present generation should not leave any fight for the coming generation. He ended up by saying, cash in hand is better than cash promised.
Will not be enslaved by an equal party in a non-existent union through fear, fatigue, lies, propaganda, or evil conspiracies. We are the never again generation, the all for one for all generation. And we leave no one behind as we continuously take on this fight against 60 plus years of annexation and recolonization. The IG under my leadership is leaving no stone unturned to make sure our brave people regain their freedom and enjoy their inalienable rights in their God-given country, Ambazonia. The generation of Foncha cowardly passed on their responsibility to another generation. Should I call it the generation of Frundi? Then the generation of Frundi preferred a transaction with La Republique than our outright resistance and freedom. So they failed in their responsibility to protect and liberate us. They passed on their responsibility to us. Our generation must not pass this responsibility on to the next generation. Viva our brave Ambazonia Restoration Forces of Ngoketunjia. Viva the great people of Ngoketunjia County. Viva the Federal Republic of Ambazonia, and God bless you.
That's about it for the president's speech for the draft of Ngoketunjia over the weekend. And at the end of the draft, Ngoketunjia raised a whooping sum of 18,500 plus US cash in hand.